Welcome to NFL World and NFL Starts, and I'm your host Jacob. And we had the two firings on Black Monday that we had told you about with the Doug Peterson, Gerard Mayo, and then yesterday we had the GM firing. Let's tell you the names. The Titans part ways with their GM. Rain Safone. I probably butchered that name. Yeah, that wasn't a shocker. After what happened to Rabel and him being canned, and then Brian Callahan taking over, it being really bad, not possible that it could have been that much worse, and yet it somehow was. The offense was non-existent. The defense actually played well, just we can't do enough. But that was the big news of yesterday. Oh yeah, and also the Raiders deciding that Antonio Pierce, yeah, let's go. You lead. Telesco can set. The GM of the Raiders, Tom Telesco, formerly of the Raiders, from the Chargers, excuse me. Now it's the Raiders. He says Antonio Pierce is out. That leaves 6 head coaching positions open at this time. The team of the Raiders was in free fall. They were bad a year ago. And Antonio Pierce stepped in after Josh McDaniels got fired and created some stability to the point that most Davis said, yeah, let's keep him. So they did. This year, bad clock management, like every coach does. Because you think you have more time on the clock. Sometimes that doesn't happen. You think your offensive line will be able to block. They were unable to do so. They had a bad quarterback position, which you can blame on Tom Telesco. Their defense was horrible, even though they had Max Crosby and Wilkins from the Miami Dolphins. It was a big free agency. They couldn't do anything. And that's because of Antonio Pierce not being able to get them ready to go. The offense is bad. They were, I think, last in running the football. That's how bad they are. And so Antonio Pierce, I was surprised he wasn't fired on Black Monday. He ended up doing an interview, doing the press conference, and he was an entire Raiders get up. And then on Tuesday, it's announced he's been fired. Kind of taking a page out of the Chicago Bears playbook. Allow the coach to do the press conference, come back, it just happened a different day. So the question becomes, who could be the coach of the Raiders? And it's not like the team. The players are pretty built. At this point, they just need to go in the right direction. But their stuff is very wide. It's very wide. I don't know what the Raiders will be. There was a report of Tom Brady contacting Bill Belichick. Now, you say, what does that mean? Because Bill Belichick does have a $10 million buyout. So I'm going to quickly scroll here and not find it. Well, anyway, it means that it's still doable by NFL. And if Mark Davis wants that, they could do it. Now, here's the thing. Would Belichick leave North Carolina? Especially since he's been busy recruiting for North Carolina. Maybe, maybe not. Would he want to go to the Raiders? Maybe, maybe not. But I think the biggest thing needs to be, how much can the Raiders spend? It's not just the $10 million, okay, now we bought you out. It's the $10 million and then popping of it. What would Belichick want to be a head coach again? That's what it becomes. And the Raiders, we said this in the firing of Gruden, in the firing of McDaniels, in the firing of Pearson. They're cash poor. They're very cash. I don't mean that they have enough money for the salary cap, absolutely. But they're cash. They don't have a lot of money to go around like that. because they still have to pay you. They still have to pay McDaniel. You still got to pay for Pierce. Even though Pierce might not be as much as Gruden and McDaniel, you still got to pay it. That's three coaches, I think, in the last 5, 6 years that you have to pay them because Gruden, I think, still has 5 years on his contract, 4 years on his contract, $20 million. McDaniel, I think you got 2 years left, and it's Pierce depending on how big the contract, exactly. But I can tell you this, that's very expensive, and now you got to bring in another coach, especially if it's Belichick, like we were talking about, a buyout and then how much you want. That becomes very interesting. We'll have to keep a note on. Let's go back to the Bears. The Bears, you know how we talked about casting a very wide net? Well, they are interviewing the Penguins, the Cardinals offensive coordinator. They've been trying to interview the point line offensive and defensive coordinators, Ben Johnson and Aaron Gant, respectively. We've been interviewing all kinds of them. They also requested on Monday an interview with Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy. Now, the situation with McCarthy is completely different than the Antonio Pierce issue. McCarthy is in this weird game of limbo. You're playing chicken with McCarthy, essentially. And we don't know if we want him back. We do want him back. We might just be jerks about it. They have 6 days to figure this out. So the Bears on Monday requesting permission if they could talk to him. And the Cowboys didn't respond until Tuesday night, where they said, no, you can't. Now, I don't know the exact window they had to respond in. I don't know. All I know is they didn't respond until Tuesday night. And once they did, it was mean, okay, do they want him back? Is there interest to keep Mike McCarthy? I'll say this to the Cowboys. Everything I've heard through the grapevine and through other people who cover the Cowboys for a very long period of time have said the same thing. There's been no contact based on McCarthy's contract. They're just doing the evaluation, meaning they have not talked to McCarthy about a contract. Regardless of my mind, you should know what to do. Not say, oh, we're going to be late. So there's 3 solutions to what Dallas is doing. And they're not exactly great solutions. The first solution is they want to keep Mike McCarthy. That's the reason they denied permission from the Bears. That's the reason they denied the Bears from talking. They want to keep, they're just trying to figure it out. Number 2 is they denied permission. They don't know what to do. If they could keep him, don't know if they could keep him. It's a question of if they will or will not. And the third thing, which actually makes very little sense that would also be on par with the Cowboys, is we have him for 6 more days, so you cannot interview him right now, but we don't want to keep him. So in 6, 7 days, you could interview him, which would just waste, which is probably what the Cowboys. Man, as a Cowboys fan, I don't appreciate this call. Make the call on myself. And then the you're out, and that's it. Hurry up on court. There's also been some things that have tried to talk to other things about would they be open to trading their. Jay Glazer said that Kevin O'Connell for the Minnesota Vikings could be a hot candidate if he gets traded. See, he's highly. It's also going to be a event. They haven't done a renegotiation for that contract. But the thing that came out was one thing has inquired about Nick Tomlin and what the Steelers would do to trade. I think that could be very interesting. Wouldn't be surprised if that's the Bears do. Now, moving on, let's move on to the Tyreek issue. So Tyreek Hill, we kind of referenced this a little bit on Monday's show. Was playing. The Miami Dolphins were playing against the Jets. That the Dolphins needed to win. to keep their playoff hopes alive because then they could get in if Denver lost. Denver ended up winning against Miami needed to win. And Miami got destroyed by the Jets. It was terrible. The run game wasn't that great. There was but the biggest issue was in the fourth quarter when the Jets were winning. Tyreek went and said, "Nope, I'm out. I'm done." And he just sat on the bench. McDaniel, when asked in the press conference, said he was quote unquote unavailable. He didn't say he quit, but that's kind of what he wants. After, Hill said, "I appreciate my time being here. It was fun." It's basically the same thing, goodbye, I don't want to be. According to the GM of in the owner of the Dolphins, however, they, meaning Hill, have not requested a trade, because I think Hill will request a trade, and it is doable for teams for this year. You could cut him next year, but it is doable. He's only owed $15 million so on the salary. So it is doable. You've seen players like Michael Parsons and two others try to get Tyreek to go their direction. As of right now, we're just kind of waiting it out. But it's also weird because this is a very this doesn't fit the WWE the receiver diva this year. Okay, it doesn't fit because you had one bad year, really one bad year. You didn't make the playoffs for the first time in your history. So one bad year, and now you want it. That is not good. That is not good. If you're the Dolphins, you want that around you. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Now, moving into two for Wild Card Weekend, where, and I was thinking to myself before we actually get into the game, two CBS games, the 4 o'clock game, between the Chargers and Houston. New current game that is going to be on Amazon between Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Broncos and Bills on CBS. It's on Sunday. That's the 1 o'clock game. Panthers, Eagles, that's on Fox. Commanders, Tampa, that's on NBC. The ABC would be Minnesota and the Rams. That's on Monday. This is my opinion. You put, like, they could put another game on Fox. You put another game on Fox. Take the game like NBC or whatever out, or Monday Night Football out, or whatever, and move it to a Fox. So you have two Foxes, two CBSs, and Amazon NBC. Or move the Amazon one to NBC and just have the Amazon NBC. It's the same thing as NBC. So just move it. So change this game, this ABC game, to keep that and move that NBC game. So you have two NBC, two CBS, two games off. And ABC, or whatever you want. But that's how I test. You do two CBSs, two Foxes, an ABC, or two CBSs, two NBCs, and a Fox, or two ABCs, two CBSs. Yeah, that's how I. So there's number. So for Super Wild Card Weekend, we have the Chargers at Houston on 3. The over-under is 42.5. We talked about this. We said if the Chargers, if the Steelers lost and the Chargers won, the Chargers get the 5th seed, putting them in Houston. Dome Stadium, but against a weaker team. And the reason that's important is because you are the 5th seed. Okay, you are that seed. Your record is what you are. You are that 5th seed. Therefore, you need to find a way to get a quick way and give yourself some confidence. The Houston Texans have not been that good. Giving you that would be an advantage. There's a reason that Houston is frustrated. They have played awful the last week. Give me the Chargers. They find a way to win the team, and they go on the road with the win. Everyone feels good about themselves. I believe also this would be Justin Herbert's first playoff with that. So that would come at a good time as well. The score would be 28-10. Later on in that night on Saturday, the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens favored by 9.5. Now, the thing that came out saying that Tomlin would be more open to having Justin Fields play more in this game against the Ravens. Here's the thing. If George Pickens does what he did last week against Cincinnati, it ain't going to matter. He's their best player. How is he not catching the passes going his way? And then getting upset with his teammates, his team fans all the time. That's not good to have in a loss. So if he does not produce against Baltimore, he might be on his way out. We're saying that Jimmy Baltimore, they played really great football the last month. The last time these two teams played, they beat Pittsburgh handily. I think it will be closer. Pittsburgh does cover, but Baltimore wins. These games are really close. I want to make that abundantly clear. Ravens win 31-24. It's a Sunday. The 1 o'clock game. Denver versus Buffalo. Buffalo favored by 8.5. There's concern about Denver's their offense. They played back last week. Buffalo played back last week. Amari Cooper has to be back. Give me the Bills. We win. The first year under Bo Nix was the quarterback. And second year under Sean Payton. Good job. The Buffalo wins this game pretty easy. Instead, win Orchard Park 38. Next up on that Sunday as well, it's a 4:30 game. Green Bay at Philadelphia. Philadelphia favored by 4.5. Jordan Love is expected to go or trying to go. Christian Watson is out. They're still looking at his knee at the time. We're still waiting for it. Actually, I'm going to look you up. Sorry, my phone's being really slow. But it doesn't exactly say. But most people believe that they're in the he's done. Meaning, he's obviously not. Obviously, Hurts not playing. Excuse me. Obviously, Hurts not playing in with Nate. If he doesn't play in 21 days or 20 days, would be pretty lucky. Let's see what happens. Excuse me. So with saying that, Packers win and find a way to upset in Philadelphia. 28-21. Next up, Washington at Tampa. Tampa being favored by 3. Tampa won their division. Played really well. Done some nice things. Washington, I question how they will it be the team that after the Cowboy loss, they were on a roll? Or will it be a team when they play a tougher opponent that is not their life is that changes? I think we have to answer that question. I also think watch Cliff Kingsbury's play call. He has a tendency in season that his play call starts off really hot and plateaus to even falls off in later during the season. So be aware of that. I think Tampa finds a way to win this game, and they do win this game, but it's a shootout. The score being 38-35. Next up, and final game, Monday Night Football, Minnesota at Rams. Rams +1. The over-under 48. We said this could happen. If the Vikings lost or the Lions lost, they would drop the 5 seed after play game. They'd end up playing the Rams 5, but the last time these teams played, the Rams won the game. Does that mean it's going to happen again? We'll have to wait and see. Tom McVay gave play calling duty to Matt LaFleur, brother, right? And so he got because Sean Payton was working on this game. Didn't know who he was facing, working on the game. These guys are healthy. Stafford resting. Luca was resting. All you need. In the Vikings show, they did not play well. Could you take the wait and see? I'm saying the Rams have an issue with coverage and pressure. You need a Vikings. They win this game, and we see another match between the Vikings and Lions. Vikings win, huge game. Actually, no, we win because it's Green Bay's success. Vikings would be. That's what to do. Yeah, Vikings win. Strange game. This is going to be a great game. They're going to kill the over-under. This is going to be fun to watch. 41-38. And that is it. Time for let me know in the comments who you're having on who you have winning on Super Wild Card Weekend. And let me know who we see a match between the Lions and Vikings, please, in the future. Final farewell. 102.